Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Austrian campaign in the Balkans as we continue in Empire Total War. We are met with a naval battle. The Ottoman Navy, composed of a sloop, a frigate, and, again, what I'm hoping is pronounced Zebek, or Zebets. Zebech, I don't know. Has engaged us, so we are outnumbered. However, there is the possibility of victory. Firstly, because we have the wind in our sails, and it is a significant advantage. Second of all, we do have now 2 sixth-rate frigates, and, well, if we keep at range, we've seen how easily these things can get heavily damaged and can have their guns knocked out. If that happens, the sloop will be the second to fall. It has fewer men and fewer guns than our frigates, leaving only the Karali Race, the Ottoman sixth-rate frigate, as our competitor, and whilst true enough this will be a fierce fight, I'm hoping that morale will swing in our favour by then enough to force it to basically retreat, having seen 2 of its other ships and two of its allied ships sink or surrender. But for now, as ever really, we simply slow down a little bit and keep the fighting at range. By no means try and close into boarding distance. Attempt to focus on the weaker ships first, but really, you know, shooting is shooting. This isn't terrific. Oh, this isn't terrific at all. Still have 32 guns on this one, 31 on this one, and well, we've knocked out more guns than they have, but that's not necessarily saying much. And it will come down to simply that, being able to destroy more enemy cannons than the enemy is able to destroy ours. It simply always comes down to that with these engagements, specifically against the Ottomans. For other navies of Europe, it is highly dependent on the ships you're fighting, and you're fighting both with and against, but here you basically just always want to keep them at distance, because that's where our advantage is. Apart from this sloop, here, yeah, for the sloop we might actually prefer to board in some scenario, but we will see. I want to focus fire on this thing. It sinks easily. It's a very fragile ship. Prince Eugen has is not having a fantastic time, really, if we're honest. Turn around, fire the left broadside on the sloop. We've barely even scratched their frigate, and ours have both taken some damage. This thing's mobility has been gutted, though, and I think that's the biggest problem of this ship. Its sails are effectively non-existent after a few volleys of cannon fire. Now, they look like they're coming within boarding range, but I don't believe that they're that stupid. Surely you are not that silly. You can board with the other two ships, just not with this one. Right, that was very effective. Let's switch to regular shot, though. So we've dodged most of that, which is... Well, I say that, and then we lose 2 of our cannons, but... Their ship has the ideal position. I mean, it is sitting dead in the water at this stage, but it does have the ideal position. We need to focus fire on their frigate. These two will fall on their own eventually. I mean, this ship is practically knocked out. If it can't move, it's not a threat, but their frigate certainly is. And our ship is basically dead in the water as well. Lovely. Okay, we do have a good position to fire on the enemy here. We have a good position to get shot at as well. Alright, switch to grape shot. Keep him at this sort of range. Try and, like... I mean, just try, period. Really. That wasn't all that great. I find it fascinating how, with the wind blowing that way, we're the slower ship of the two. That's most amusing to me. You would expect we would have at least some form of speed advantage with, you know, the wind behind us, but no, turns out it's always the Ottomans that are faster. Even if we have the exact same ship design, it's somewhat infuriating, really, but, you know. And again, with wind in our sails, we simply choose not to use our sails, at least what it seems like. No, we just can't move at all, apparently. I would love to know why. Is it because you're scared of ramming into them? You really shouldn't be, like, it's... You really, really shouldn't be. Yeah. So much for the Austrian Navy and our naval presence, I suppose, but... Well, this was to be expected. I would have liked to at least eliminate one of their 3 vessels, but... like to turn on the other, turn around and use the other broadside. It still has 16 cannons. I mean, this is just unfortunate, really. And it blew up. Well, it suicided into the pride of the Austrian Navy. Unfortunate as that was, I find it at least somewhat acceptable. It does appear like we'll get out of the whole problem with one ship, though, so well, there is hope, I suppose.
The ruling classes have written a letter of demands to you.
Of course, there is a letter of demands in Rumelia. And we have lost our Catholic missionary, unfortunately. He would have been quite helpful in Spain and Portugal are at war. Ooh, that is, well, once again. Alright, we have lost our missionary, and that he would have been quite helpful in excuse me. Oh no, this is a different ship. Okay. Oh, it's the ship that surrendered. They've just taken our ship. All right, fair enough. Well, the Russian fleet's in there right now. All right, let's retreat north. Hopefully, the Russian Navy will protect us. They do have mostly the same ships as we do, 6-rate frigates, but alright. Where is the... yeah, here it is. This is the Ottoman Army I wanted to fight, and this is going to be vital in... well, it's going to be vital for the future in general, really. So, not a particularly difficult fight, but one that we will need to deal with. Alright, let's go. Right, and here we are then, in a very interesting and convenient location, at least for a battle. The terrain is around the area is mostly flat. There is this very large, well, not very large, but very long, steep climb here, but it doesn't provide much of an advantage either way, due to its sheer width. And obviously with ring bayonets now, charging our infantry lines is going to be a significantly more difficult task, so... also have hussars here to fight the enemy cavalry if need be. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Oh, wow. Though, like, the last volley of this just shredded through, like, half of that cavalry regiment. That is probably the best cavalry, the best, artillery volley of the entire campaign, probably. That is pretty amazing. Not gonna lie, that is pretty darn amazing. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Wow, that's like... Damn, okay. Well, this should be it for our enemies, unless they have more stuff hidden away. Oh, they do have one infantry regiment, don't they? Yeah, they do have one infantry regiment, but the cavalry's gone, so... Really, it's quite strange that they would want to even fight us in this situation. I mean, they have all the maneuverability in the world. Well, no, their army is only as fast as their slowest unit, which is this regiment of infantry, so I suppose that explains why they were even willing to fight us at all, but it seems like a very strange way of doing things. They could have just raided up and down the province rather than try and fight an organized force like this. Was ultimately their downfall, but never interrupt the enemy when they're making a mistake. Alright, so lost more men than I'd like to admit, but it was necessary. This was well, it wasn't really a threat to any of the capital settlements in the theater really at all, but it was a large-ish force that needed to be dealt with. And after this, we only have one more Ottoman army present in the Balkans, and that is the one towards Thessalonica. Everything else has been taken care of, so I'm quite anxious to see what we're going to have to do next. Obviously, dealing with the rebellions is going to be very important and also challenging, but other than that, we will need to move this particular army somewhere, and well, that will be quite the decision. There will undoubtedly be new wars and conflicts across Europe for us to participate in. Though, so far, the situation seems mostly stable. Volatile, stable but volatile, it sounds contradictory, but so far it's peaceful, relatively. There's fighting in Spain, there's obviously the sort of Baltic War up north with Prussia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, but France is stable, Britain is stable, Central Europe sort of is doing alright, Italy isn't at war, and there's no battles waging there as far as we know. So, yeah. It could change very quickly, but so far it does seem relatively peaceful. Alright. We've actually just lost like 100 men, which is, given the fact that they had 600 soldiers, is a pretty darn good result. Mind you, they will be able to retreat with all their cavalry north towards Moldavia. I'm hoping that this Polish-Lithuanian army continues to chase them, or maybe tries to recapture Moldavia. Speaking of, actually, we could take Moldavia. This is mostly just in the missile cavalry and one block of infantry here. We could take this. We could probably take this. That is... Huh. Yeah. More than likely we could take that. A platoon firing. Socket bayonet military syllabus. Let's go with improved grenades. I think that'll help. We also are going to need more soldiers. how worse exactly are the mobile 12-pounder cannons? A lot less range and considerably less firepower. With the Grand Arsenal, I can recruit 24-pounder cannons. Yeah, but those are fixed. It doesn't say fixed here. Mm, 10-inch mortars, yeah. Looks like we're gonna have to go with the 12-pounders. Or we could stick to fixed. Yeah, but that's not gonna work. Alright, we're gonna need to wait like for more money to recruit a proper amount of them, but I guess that's what we're doing next. Oh, we should do it here. Yeah. Yeah, we should. Okay. Well, Moldavia's in the crosshairs next, but other than that, we need to take out this last remaining army of the Ottomans here. And we should be alright. We just need to somehow get a decent amount of reinforcements in, consolidate our army, and plan out our next move. So these are the relations in Europe so far. It's also, I think we should look at the... here it is. So far, Britain is pretty much first in every single aspect, from the land forces to the navy to economy and to enlightenment. However, we are not far behind. The Ottoman Empire has just been in steady decline for ages. Economically, they are still powerful, but militarily, they have lost all their might, battering themselves against the Russians and the Poles in the north and the east, respectively, or in the east and the north, respectively, and then against us in the west. So, yeah, all right. And it looks like we're going to have a rebellion and a regular Ottoman army to deal with. Luckily, I did bring Guido's army a little bit down south, fearing something like this might happen, and turns out I was right. We will have to fight both of these. So yeah, it will be quite the challenge, but we do have some 12-pounder artillery that we've recruited in Istanbul itself, and we do have fixed artillery coming in from the north too, so I don't expect this will be particularly easy, but given our overwhelming artillery firepower, I do believe we have an advantage technically over the Ottomans, but it all depends on how they deploy and what they do. We shall see.